Alright, Trips, what's happening? How's the Friday night gone? He's all getting on it. I've got class tomorrow. I've not been all week, obviously. The karate's off for a week cause of Easter. In my other class, it's been on all through Easter, but I've not been all week. Different reasons. Obviously, when I was at that 5-0 fight, I had a few refreshments. And I woke up on the Monday and it was like fucking. I wouldn't have made it to class, and even if I did, like, I wasn't hungover or nothing, but I wasn't really in a fit state to kind of be turning up. I was just fucking like a bus couch, know what I mean? And I had my heel was burst open, so I had like a big plaster on it and like fucking blood coming through my sock, all that shit. And fucking then I'd booked my class for, so I'd cancelled my Monday class, and then on Wednesday I was meant to go, but I'd woke up on the Wednesday all fucking, see, like choked up, then my nose was running, I had a sore head, and I felt like I was quite, no burning up, but you know what I mean. I was just like, I'm not going. I'm just going to take the week off, start back fresh next week. But I was like, fuck it, feeling a bit better, so I booked my class for the morrow, just to get like a wee extra one in, if you get me. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. My wee boy's staying with his grandpa, so got the gaff to myself. Just been watching some shit on Netflix and that. Before I get into this story, um, I've not really been bothering about like kind of trying to get people to come on my channel, because like I've been trying to ask Jerry out to come on, but he's fucking murder to pin down. And I know he's starting to get other shit on the go, so fucking proud of him. Not, I mean, I've been saying this to him even for when we were in the jail. I used to say to him in the jail, I used to say to him, see if I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy you a stage in my house, like a big auditorium, and just get you on stage with a microphone to tell all your stories. I used to actually say that to him, and it's mad to think now how well received he's been. It's just, it's quite good to see. So proud of him, and I think he's going on Lad Bible soon. So fucking hope he's all tune into that when you see it. I think he's trying to, well, he's going on 5-0s I think as well, so we're going on, me and Jerry are scheduled to go on social sessions with Sean Toll as well. I know Sean for shots in Addiewell, good boy, decent, one of the better ones, not I mean, from my experience. I don't know where Jerry knew him for, but me and Jerry are going to be tag teaming him. I think it's the 21st of April it's been recorded, so it's all happening in it. But I was talking to my pal, this is another Jerry, right, he's for Belfast, and me and him are talking about getting him to come on and tell, sorry, some of his life experiences and for prison and all that shit. So I'm looking into kind of how me and him can kind of come on and like obviously tell his kind of experience, know what I mean? So I'm hoping that happens, and obviously I'll drop it when it happens. So hope you enjoy it. So this story that I want to talk about was actually something that came into my head when I'd done that last story about that guy, the Willie gig killer. And the reason that it came into my head, like I was lying awake till like fucking stupid o'clock, right? Just thoughts pure racing about shit. And remembering I'd said in that last video how I always remembered that case, but I couldn't remember the guy's name, and then I saw somebody on Lad Bible talking about the worst case he'd ever seen. They said the guy's name, so that led to me googling it and going, aye, that was him. So there was this guy who came into Shot's National Induction Centre in 2005. Now, I was only like sentenced a year or whatever. I got sentenced 2004, right? It was this wee old guy, um, and he was directly facing me, um, and it was quite a notorious case at the time, but also quite interesting, right? And I couldn't fucking remember this guy's second name. I know his name was John, but I just couldn't fucking remember his second name. And I remember like thinking about his case and seeing his face in my mind's eye and all that. And I just couldn't fucking remember for the life of me what this guy's second name was, so I couldn't look the case up, I couldn't research it. And then the other night when I was lying after doing that video, boom, it fucking hit me, right? I was like, that'll be right. So his name was John Gardiner, um, and John Gardner was ex Royal Navy. He was on the submarines, right? And I remember he came into Shots, and he wasn't really a sociable guy. Like we were all kind of, like I was only about 22, 23 at the time, so we'd all be sitting smoking joints and all that fucking shit, all be sitting in gas, like he'd always be sitting with somebody, but he would never sit with anybody, he would always just be sitting in his cell, the door wide open, with a fucking radio on, quite loud on some obscure channel, smoking like fuck. And I remember I was lying in my cell one day, and the tobacco he was smoking wasn't like the Gucci swag that all the fucking Colombians were buying. He was smoking like the fucking cheapest of the cheap, and it was quite, had a unique smell to it, shall we say, right? And it was always drifting right into my cell. And one of the things that I hate is smoke. I just can't stand it. Um, and a couple of times I had to go and say to him like, here, why fucking, like in an alright way. I wasn't going in and fucking trying to put the brows down to him. Not, I mean, I was just saying, here mate, any chance you keep your door shut a bit, because your fucking smoke's travelling into my gaff. And he was alright about it. Sorry man, my fucking nose is a bit runny. So this guy was actually convicted, right? Um, right, so he was charged with murder, and the case that he was involved in was his his wife, who totally vanished off the face of the earth. They never found her body, right? Which was quite, to me, it's quite sinister for the reasons that he gave, right? So I never spoke to him about his case. Um, I just, especially when there'd been no body, it's not something I would ask him about. But I remember reading that so this is what he said happened. He said, me and my wife had an argument. Uh, she fell and cracked her head off the concrete steps. So I decided to wrap her up in towels in a polythene sheet and dump her in the river leaving, right? So this is after his wife has went missing, and at first I think he said she was away to visit their children, grown up children who lived in England at the time. But then when it's turned out that's not where she's been, this is the what he said, right? He said, oh, we were having an argument about money. Um, she tried to fucking grab me or something, and I've pulled away and she's fell back and cracked her head off the stairs, and I've panicked and cleaned the scene and dumped her in a fucking river, and then just hoped no cunt would fucking find out. Now, what's interesting is the police, We've obviously raided his house and charged him and all that. But the funny thing was, I remember there was a rumour, right, saying this was a rumour that I heard in prison, but it turns out it was actually true. They found bone fragments of his wife, I think it was bits of her skull, in a washing machine. Now, how would you find bits of skull in a washing machine? Know what I mean? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? So he's saying he took the body after she fell. He's took the body, put it in the bath, wrapped it in polythene, dumped it in the river. But I think what's happened is, I think he's dismembered her and put her somewhere where only he would ever know where their body parts were, where their limbs were. They've never been found. And the reason that I think that the body was dismembered is because the fact that they're finding fragments in washing machines and all that shit, right? You don't. What else was it? They found I think they found one of her teeth in the fucking bath drain or something. I know. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like that. I think he's put her in the bath to dismember her, and he's distributed her. But the only reason I could think of is fragments in the washing machine would be if he's bludgeoned her. So the method of killing her wouldn't be dismembering her, obviously, because nobody's going to lie there and let you fucking saw them up unless you were anaesthetised, you were put under, and your body's no moving. Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't happen. Nobody's going to. That wouldn't be the cause of death. The cause of death to me would obviously be he's bludgeoned her to death, and then obviously took her body apart, right? And then obviously he's trying to cover up the crime scene. But the weird thing is that when he went to court, he was actually convicted of a lesser charge of culpable homicide, right? Now, culpable homicide in Scotland is basically you killed somebody but you didn't mean it, right? Now, tell me something. If you were arguing with your wife, a loved one, somebody who you profess to love, you've got children to them, whatever, right? And you're just having a daft argument, and she or he falls, cracks their fucking skull open like an eggshell, to quote John Gardner. What do you think's the first thing you would do? Dial fucking 999, innit? Who tries to clean up a crime scene? I've got serious convictions. I would phone 999 if I had a wife and we had an argument and she fell, cracked her skull open and died. I wouldn't care if she wasn't breathing or what. I'm phoning 999 because there's no malice on my part, there's no criminal intent to harm her. It's been an accident. So who tries to clean up the crime? I think that was a premeditated murder by a fucking long shot. And I think he was either smart enough or he was either smart enough to get away with it or lucky enough to get away with it. And I was pretty shocked when I heard that, well, when I read, like, because I always assumed, I didn't know he was, when I met him in jail is what I'm trying to say, I thought he was in for a murder charge. I didn't think he was in for a culpable homicide. And for those of you who don't know, the distinction is what I've just said. Murder is killing somebody premeditated, right? And obviously culpable homicide is killing somebody without meaning to kill them. No intent to kill them. They were killed obviously in the result of a fight or whatever, I don't know. And what I found weird about that was it made me think of the Nat Fraser case. Now, I was in shots with Nat Fraser and his wife vanished off the face of the earth and all. but he got life in prison. I know he got a few retrials not, but the law's fucked up that way, innit? How can you look at one case, right? Now, there was blood traces and all that found in this house. Bone fragments. Bone fragments. Like, come on, man. And it turned out that there was some sort of kind of animosity between him and his wife, and I think that I read when I was researching this that his wife was planning on throwing him out the house through debt. He was caught forging her signature for like 50 grand fucking checks or 100 grand checks, something like that. And then there was another woman, I think, who was a witness who said something along the lines, he gave a statement to the murder squad saying something along the lines of, he was trying to manipulate her into, see, like signing signatures, so like he's like a con man, a fraudster, whatever. And I seen his house was fucking, it was like a bungalow, it was a beautiful house on the outside, but that's the thing, like, appearances are deceptive, aren't they? It's like people, what you see on the outside is not always what's going on the inside, innit? But aye, that was definitely a strange case. And see, the funny thing is, right, he's out now. I think he got 12 year. I got longer than him. Didn't kill him, but hey ho, innit? Fuck's sake. And I read that he got married again right now. I want to read some of the report at the time, the media report at the time. It was actually pretty interesting. So this is dated Friday the 2nd of September 2005. I was in the NI National Induction Centre in Shorts at the time. So he would have just come in round about then. So it says, an ex-naval officer has been found guilty of the culpable homicide of his wife, whose body has never been found. John Gardner, 58, had denied murdering 55-year-old Margaret at their home in Helensburgh last October. So we're talking October the year before, right? Obviously. A High Court jury found him guilty of the reduced charge of killing her and of perverting the course of justice by disposing her body. Gardiner, who said he put her body in a river after she was fatally hurt in a fall, will be sentenced in 3 weeks. The outcome of the case at the High Court in Paisley descended into confusion on Friday afternoon when a dispute arose over the wording of the reduced charge. Fucking lawyers. The jury was recalled and Judge Lord Dawson asked its members to reconsider the terms of his original direction. The position was clarified and the majority verdict was delivered again. Gardiner told police that he had accidentally killed his wife when she smashed her skull on concrete steps outside their kitchen door during an argument over money last October. He said his wife suffered a massive head injury and he could find no signs of life. Nah, mate. See, when somebody falls, right, there's no enough force to crack your skull open. You would need to fall off the fucking roof to probably have the injuries she had, know what I mean? Full of shite. On realising that Margaret was dead, Gardner said he got a towel, wrapped it around her body and carried her into the house where he laid her in the bath. Later, he said he wrapped his wife's body in a polythene sheet and drove to a bridge over the River Leven on the A82 where he put her into the river. On returning home, Gardner claimed he cleaned the bath, put his blood-stained clothes and the towel in the washing machine, washed the sheet of polythene and placed it in a wheelie bin. Forensic teams found traces of his wife's blood in the bath and washing machine. A piece of broken tooth was retrieved from the bath's waste pipe and a fragment of her skull was discovered inside the washing machine. A pathologist concluded it had become dislodged from her head and that the most likely cause had been crushing or multiple blows. So tell me something, right? If it was a crushing blow, right, that wouldn't amount to like falling and banging your head. Maybe you would hurt yourself, aye, bust your head open, maybe, but no crushing blows. That's blunt force trauma, mate. That's like fuck you right out of the back of the dome. Know what I mean? Fucking, he's a mental. How did he get a cult, man? It's nuts, isn't it? So anyway, in other cases where similar bone fragments had become detached, the scenario had involved dismemberment. Haha, there you go. His defence said he then embarked on the madness of trying to cover up the death and claimed that once he had moved the body in panic, he went on a roller coaster which it was impossible to get off. During the 3-week trial, the jury heard that the couple had rowed when Margaret discovered that Gardner had falsified her signature on an application for a 55 grand loan. She had returned from work at lunchtime, and during the argument that ensued, Gardiner said he thought she had lunged at him with a kitchen knife. He sidestepped her and gave her right hand a twist. Gardiner claimed that she then fell through the door and onto concrete outside where her skull smashed like an eggshell. Gardiner initially concocted a story that his wife had left to visit their son and daughter, and then he reported her as a missing person. It was 2 months later that he told his daughter Fiona, in the presence of a police officer, that his wife's death had been an accident and that he had disposed of her body in the river. Despite intensive searches, there has been no trace of Margaret's body. Prosecuting advocate Deputy Sean Murphy accused Gardner of creating a forest of lies, but the jury decided that the charge of culpable homicide was appropriate. Gardner was convicted of killing his wife at their home on 4th of October 2004, assaulting her by means to the prosecutor unknown. The jury also found him guilty of removing his wife's body and making false statements to defeat the ends of justice. A charge of formulating a fraudulent scheme to obtain cash was dropped. Defence QC Donald Finlay invited the judge to acquit his client on the basis of the wording of the culpable homicide verdict returned and the unspecified nature of the jury's conclusion. However, the judge told him that that was a matter for another place, appeal basically, I think. He deferred sentence until 23rd of September and continued bail. Fucking hell, he got bail? Fuck me, mate. Like, that is madness. Like, when you actually read to the extent of, like, how they believe that there was some sort of dismemberment and all that, like, what the fuck? Come on, man. Know what I mean? Oh, here's one for 2007. Court rejects wife killer appeal. So basically, a wife killer's appeal against conviction has been rejected. John Gardner, 59, was found guilty by a jury of culpable homicide, blah blah blah. So where's it saying? He was temporarily freed after launching an appeal against conviction and sentence last July. Aye. And I'm trying to find something because see the bit I read, because these articles I'm reading wasn't the research I found. This was like the initial reports for the BBC, right? It said that somebody, I don't know if it was the judge or the prosecutor or some sort of fucking police diver or whatever, said basically, I know the river leaving like the back of my hand. There is no way you could put a body in there without it turning up. But apparently, his kids went on to sue him, I think, for the sale of the house and all that. So here's one that says heartbroken children sue killer dad who murdered their mum. Brother and sister Fiona and Graham Gardner have won £50,000 from their evil dad for the torment they suffered after he murdered their mum. So, aye, what did they sue him for? The callous murderer emptied his bank accounts while out on bail during an appeal against his 12-year sentence. So they've won a personal injury claim against him, basically because he's fucking took their ma like off the face of the earth, know what I mean? Just fucking craziness. How and you look at how he's been getting, he's winning appeals and getting out in bail and all that, know what I mean? She was also subject to extreme violence prior to her death. That's what they've said in court. Do you know what I mean? So Fiona and Graham want nothing to do with their evil dad, and they've taken legal steps to avoid contact. So there you go, like heavy domestic case, know what I mean? And when I was doing the research for this yesterday and that, it says it had got married in 2012 or something. Now who would marry somebody who was accused of killing their wife? Probably end up doing her next, know what I mean? Scumbag. But this is it. A lot of fucking nutters out there. But that's that. I hope you're all having a good Friday night anyway, whatever you're doing. I'm going to go and chill out, watch a wee bit of Netflix, man, then get ready, shit ready for my class tomorrow, because I need to be up early-ish. But I hope that was interesting, and cheers for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time I'm on. Cheerio, good night.